guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is titled Karen Stole My Walmart Order Today. So since we don't like shopping, we have been enjoying the online ordering option at Walmart. What's not to like? You pick what you want, pay for it, they pick it and bag it, and you just roll in and pick it up. Today, however, this doesn't go as smoothly as it has in the previous few years of using the service. As I said, I put in the order and selected a pickup time. Wife and I roll in and park in space number 4, then I inform them that I'm in a blue vehicle in space number 4 with the app. Other cars are already there. Other cars roll in after we get there and the wife and I are just chatting along with the news of the day and what the grandchildren have gotten up to lately. Finally someone knocks on our window and asks what's the name of the order. I say it's last name. The associate frowns and says, I'll be right back. Thinking that this wasn't all that unusual, wife and I go back to chatting. About a minute later a manager comes out to us and asks us if we're sure of the order name. I pull out my phone and show them the app. However, the app is showing us that the order was picked up already. Turns out that the silver SUV in space number 3 was approached by the Walmart staff, asked if they were, my last name, picking up their order and the woman just waved towards the back and said, load it up please. Walmart staff apologized and said that they're going to re-pick the order as a priority and they'd be out as soon as possible. 30 minutes later a certain silver SUV pulls back into the spot and the woman slips into Karen mode and starts demanding a manager. Manager comes out and they chat for a bit. Being the nosy people we are, we listened in. She's pissed off that they totally screwed up her order. Manager says that they were asked if they were, my last name, and she just waved to load the stuff. They assumed that they were us. An honest mistake on the part of the Walmart staff given the information they were given. Karen is now demanding that they give her correct order. There are however two problems with this. First of all, since they didn't make their pickup slot, since they didn't pick up as themselves, the order was returned to stock in 2. Karen didn't bring the incorrect stuff back. Arguments go back and forth for a bit and while this is going on, they bring out our hastily re-picked groceries and a $50 gift card by way of apology. Thus restocked, we decided to drive away and we never found out what the final, Karen v Management, outcome was. The next story is titled Newspaper Seller Begging for More After I Already Donated. So, I just went about my day, deciding to treat myself a little by going to my local shopping center. I don't have a lot of money to spend every month and can't always afford to spend money on anything other than food, but I had a little extra money left over to spend on fun things. After I left one of the stores, going to the next, I encountered someone selling newspapers, a normal occurrence and usually not very bothersome. They tend to do their own thing, maybe asking you to simply buy a newspaper, but nothing more. This guy, however, directly approached me and asked for a donation. At first I tried to talk myself out of it, telling him that I don't have any small change, but then he offered to change money if I gave him something. This is where I seemingly ducked up, too naive to realize that this was somewhat shady to begin with. I gave him a €10 bill, thinking he would give me €5 back, just like I asked him, but oh, of course when I opened my wallet, he looked inside to find 2 more €20 bills. Now, I would have kind of understood it if he had asked if I'm sure I only want to donate €5, but this guy started not just asking, but full on begging me for a €20 donation, trying to guilt trip me with all the evil in the world and telling me I'm such a good person and because of that I should give him €20. In the end I just left, leaving my €10 behind, just wanting to get away from him and go on with my day. All I wanted was to brighten someone's day and to help someone in need. What I got in return was ungratefulness and guilt. I can only hope that my money actually goes to help someone who needs it and that I didn't just give it to some scammer. I hope I'm not turning out to be an ass. Just because I only wanted to give €5, to me it's quite a lot to give, although I did have some extra money for this month. I genuinely feel guilty since I know there's people who can't even afford food. The next story is titled Am I the A-hole for refusing to pay NWA fine? Those duckers clamped my car. My friend lives in NWA and I visited him. Apparently, there's some dumbass rule that guests can't come for more than an hour or past a certain hour. This WA has a bunch of other dumbass rules. My friends didn't know about that, and nobody has ever complained about that rule, or it was never enforced. I got to my car as soon as the dude just installed it. I asked him what's up and he said I need to pay him $250 now, or the tow truck will come get it and it'll be $100 a day or whatever there. I was not in a good mood, and I did not have time for this, so I just said, "You have 1 minute to remove this crap, or I remove it myself, you are ducking cocksucker." He said, "Excuse me, what did you just say?" And I responded back with, "Yeah, you ducking cock-sucking piece of crap. I'm not ducking playing around and I'm not paying you crap. Now take that thing off or I take it off myself." And he ignored me till I opened up my trunk, opened my toolbox and I unscrewed the whole thing. He was pissed and saying how I can't do it blah blah blah, and I told him to duck off. I then drove off and I kept the clamp. He was yelling how I need to pay $300 now and I just flipped him off. My wife says I was ridiculously rude, but duck that guy. If I was really bothering them, I could have moved my car in the driveway or went home early or whatever. Those duckers could have talked to us first. It's clear they were just trying to scam us. Comment said, "Not the a-hole. You're not a member of this HOA and aren't bound by their rules. They're not allowed to take your property. By the same logic, you shouldn't have taken the clamp." Another comment said, "Not the a-hole, I'm no lawyer, but I'm pretty sure they don't have the right to boot your car. You aren't a member of the HOA, so they can't enforce their rules against you." The next story is titled, "Hope the exploding soda was worth it." I delivered pizza for a few months one semester in college. Our location was kind of in an in-between spot in terms of economics. A couple streets away, we had large rancher-style homes and small mansions. In a few streets down in another direction, we had ghettos. You get the picture. I have a pretty solid memory when it comes to places I've driven to. There was this one apartment unit in the low-income apartments that would intently give me bad tips. I'm talking giving me a quarter for a $15 to $20 order. It was usually a pair of boys about 12 to 14 that would laugh as they gave me a bad tip. After they pulled this on me 3 to 4 times, I had enough. When their address popped up on the order screen and I saw they ordered a 2-liter soda, I immediately called dibs. For the 10 minutes it took to make their food, I shook their soda. Then I shook it some more on the 3 minutes drive there and walking to the door. I knocked and it was the boys again. They gave me a quarter and took their food. I wish I could have stuck around to see what happened when they opened it. On the bright side, they never ordered again, or at least not when I was working. The next story is titled, "Drug-dealing neighbor let his dog roam, mauls my dog. I get him raided by state police." From 2015 to 2016 I was searching for a dog. I wanted either an ACD or Border Collie for my farm but was not interested in paying $1,000 for a mill puppy. Eventually I found an old ACD that some Mennonites were giving away. He was old but had some years left in him. My neighbor was a local lowlife that people hated or feared. In 2008 he shot someone in the face while arguing over $20 in beer money and had been a local troublemaker who lost his license after too many DWIs. He would walk to the bar in the next town over and once climbed into a barn loft on the way home, lit up a joint, passed out, then woke in time to escape the barn fire he caused. He was in trouble a couple times for going into random houses to raid the kitchen just to make coffee. His main income was from growing and selling weed, before it was state legal, and he was a drunk. All he did all day was drink, smoke weed and tobacco and listen to the radio in a shack he built on land he was squatting on. He owned the lot next to it. He used to work for a well company and would claim he was fired for having sciatica, but when I talked to his former coworkers, when trying to get a well drilled at my place, they claimed he was fired for being drunk and high on the job or not showing up at all. I kind of likened him to Townley on South Park. I tried to be neighborly and he kept claiming he couldn't work because of sciatica. I tried to get him on disability. He would get frustrated trying to fill out the forms, toss them aside and get drunk. Eventually I filled the forms out with him, and as I had a truck at the time I drove him out 3 counties over to see the review doctor who declared he didn't have sciatica and was just a lazy drunk. He let his pit bull run loose all day as he was too lazy to use a chain, would pass out drunk at 10 a.m. most days. I would give him rides to a truck stop where he got 2 gallons of cheap vodka a week, a case of beer, and a bag of rolling tobacco. I refused when he tried to sell me his food stamps for beer money. Since I had plans to get dog, chickens, and cattle, I was concerned over the loose pit bull which had tried to get into my cabin after my cat one time. The drunk, D, kept refusing to use a chain, claiming it was too much work. After I had my dog, I was worrying but still took him on what walks he could handle, and he loved taking the leash and going for a walk a mile out and a mile back, and to accustom him to my farm's perimeter I would walk him around daily, sometimes several times a day. Within a few weeks I was walking him in front of the field when the pit was wandering along the road. She ran charging up the road and latched onto my old dog's neck, shaking him around like a rag doll. He was yelping and crapped himself. I was unarmed and the pit ignored my efforts. D heard the commotion and ran down the road too, and to his credit he helped get the pit off my dog and held her down by laying on her while I picked my bleeding dog up and ran to my cabin. I got him inside and looked him over quick, then went back to make sure my neighbor wasn't injured since his pit had bit him after letting go of my dog. He was fine, and the pit was back to wandering loose. I again voiced my concern over the dog being loose and reminded him that it kept coming to my farm going after my cat and trying to get in the chicken coop. I again asked him to use a chain and he refused. It's too much work. I then told him I was taking my dog to the vet. You better not. If he needs a vet then you better put him down. If you go to the vet animal control might come and find my crops, and admitted that the law would hold him at fault for the loose pit. I told him I would lie and claim a coyote did it, but that I expected him to pay the vet bill. No, I need all my money for vodka, D said. I told him I would accept a LB of his hippie swamp weed as payment. I would have just sold it to get the vet money. He refused. I need it for smoking, D said. I then told him if he wouldn't keep his pit on a chain and wouldn't pay for the damages then I expected him to put the pit down to prevent this kind of thing from happening again. No. I need her to guard my crops, he said. He was getting a sadistic grin, refusing to do anything while I tried to be reasonable. Then he said, if you go to a vet we won't be friends anymore. Put your dog down. If you go to a vet I will shoot you. He shot someone once before and shot at others, who he caught trying to steal his crops, a lot of local lowlifes who wouldn't go to the cops for it. I went home and mulled it over. I had no fear of him as I grew up around people much worse than him. Eventually I decided that there was no point in trying to be reasonable with him. He would just walk all over me and see me as weak if I did not retaliate, and diplomacy had failed. First, I took my dog to the vet. It set me back $1,000, which I eventually had to sell my truck as a result of the financial hit. I then took the vet report down to the state troopers barracks and told them everything I knew about the guy, his illegally owned guns, a sawed-off 410 shotguns. He couldn't have a gun after shooting someone in the face with a .22 in 2008 and doing a year for assault. The victim declined to press charges, hence only a year for assault, his crops, etc. With the vet paperwork they had probable cause to go to his shack and discover his crops. He was promptly raided and avoided jail by squealing on the guy who sold him the gun, a local unofficial dealer who sold guns to ex-cons, and a few other drug dealers. Thus avoided jail time, but his operation was shut down and he was on parole, so his main income was gone and his ability to smoke his own weed. He used a chain from then on. The following winter he passed out drunk in the snow and lost both legs due to frostbite, then moved to a nursing home. The legit owner of the land he squatted on was finally able to sell it, previously afraid of being shot, hence letting him squat unchallenged, and a couple years later he died in that nursing home. My dog went on to live another 2 years until he had a lot of health issues, blind, deaf, no teeth, incontinent, and mobility problems, and was put down. I kept steers on that field and had a lot of free-range chickens. The next story is titled But I Am the Manager? This is a strange one that just happened about an hour ago. It's an I work here, lady post. I'm the AGM at a recently opened hotel in my city. I wear the fancy suit, have the fancy name tag, it's magnetic, and definitely don't look like a guest staying there. I'm also the only member of the team who wears a suit over a generic uniform. We had a woman, I'm estimating mid to late 60s, come in and was snooping around, so needless to say I approached to ask if I could help her. She said she was just wanted to see pool. I explained that our pool is closed and still under construction. The door to the pool itself is blocked off with a "coming soon" sign. Lady, I saw that online, but I just wanted to see. You know how sometimes things say one thing online and another in person. Hotels really don't keep up on that stuff. I'm paraphrasing. Me. I'm aware that is sometimes the case, but I assure you, madam, the pool is closed and still under construction. We're excited and hopeful to see it open in early January. Lady, is there someone I can talk to? I really want to take my granddaughter here over Christmas to use the pool. Me. I'm the AGM here, actually. And unfortunately, as I said, the pool isn't expected to open until the new year. There literally, physically is no pool right now. Lady goes up to the FDA and asks about the pool, and booking to use it over Christmas. FDA slightly confused. As my manager, gestures to me, explained, the pool won't be open. Lady looks at me, then back at the FDA. Is there a manager I can speak to? Again, my name tag literally says manager in fun, bold letters. Me. Madam, I am the assistant general manager, and in fact, the current acting general manager, the actual GM, was away aiding with another property opening. Lady looks at the FDA. I just don't understand. Why can't I speak to the manager? Me and FDA exchange a confused look. Me. Madam, I assure you, I am the only manager on the property. Lady. I can't believe this. I want to speak to a manager. Me again. I am the manager. Lady. Angrily, I said I want to speak to the manager. Me again, more forcefully, Madam, I am the manager. I'm the one you want to speak to. Lady turns to FD agent. Call the manager, right now. This service is so unacceptable. I just want to bring my granddaughter to use the pool over Christmas. Me. Madam, again, I am the manager, and as I've repeatedly told you, we do not have a pool that will available over Christmas. There is no pool. Lady. Angrier. Why didn't you just say that? It says you have a pool online. This is not acceptable. I'm going to speak to the manager and get you all fired. Me, at this point, I'm Ryan Reynolds, done with this, sure. Please do. I'll be more than happy to fire myself, then collect severance for unlawful termination. It will make for a great Christmas bonus. I'll take my wife and kid to Fiji. Lady, red in the face, your manager will hear from me. How dare you ruin my granddaughter's Christmas? I'll make sure to tell everyone you won't let anyone use your pool. The lady then stormed out. I recognize the lady may be in the early stages of something serious, but in the entire interaction, she was very clear-headed. I don't think I've ever had anyone so forcefully deny my existence like this before. The next story is titled Free Space. Open scene. The phone rings. FDA. Thank you for calling the Not Free Hotel. How can I help you? Guest. Yeah, I'd like to inquire about a meeting space. FDA. Alright. You would have to talk to our sales director. Would you like their phone number? Guest. Why do I have to talk to your sales director? Is there a fee or something? FDA. Yes, sir. There is a charge to rent a meeting room. Guest. Well, how much is it? FDA. I'm not sure. We don't handle meeting room inquiries. You'll have to talk to our sales director for any information. Guest. So you can't tell me anything? FDA. I can tell you the phone number to reach our sales director? The call ends. FDA stares off into the distance. The screen fades to black. End scene. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.